recording now. Alright, so a quick little recap of last time after the, well, when we introduce us. My brain's not working today, everybody. This is another episode of With Disadvantage, episode 13.3 of the Solstice campaign. And it's 0.3 because it's another of the one-on-one sessions I'm doing with each individual player, which you'll find out more about here in a minute. With me today, it's Violet Agrippa, played by Bryn. Hi, Bryn.
Hey.
And last time in Solstice, you were all drawn to a particular chamber upon entering the Dominion. This ancient node or something is like active in this cavern, and you guys all walk in and you find Piratesh as like a giant spirit or hologram or something towering over everybody, and then you watch as she kind of shrinks down and she approaches Dragthar and she's saying stuff to Dragthar, and then she calls out to Marina, and Marina goes like kind of just wandering over there like almost zombie-like. And you look around, you notice everybody around you has just have like Sakar and Alora and Sam. They all just kind of are staring up at Piratesh, and their mouths are kind of wide open, and like they're just drooling. The lights are on, but nobody's home, basically. And you look, and then Piratesh, she walks across the little bridge, and she talks to Kelgion, who approaches her, and then he also goes into a zombie-like state. And then she looks across the way and sees you, and she says, "Ah, Violet, come forward. I have a gift for you." What do you do?
What do you mean a gift?
I have a gift of memory. I want to give it to you. It will be important for things I want you to do in the future.
Whose memories?
That is a little difficult to explain. Come forward. It's easier if I just show you.
I don't know if I want to go forward. Because I don't like the idea of everyone else being like this.
Trust me, you and your companions will not be harmed. This is a gift of memory of your ancestors.
Yes, but we're kind of in the middle of something. I don't know if it can wait.
It will take but a moment. You will experience time inside the memory, but very little time will pass out here. Quickly. I only have access to this portal for a moment, and I need you to use that time wisely. I'm glad you all are here.
Violet is going to hesitantly step forward at this point.
Okay.
You're sure it's only going to be a moment? I don't want anyone else to get hurt.
Okay, you step forward. There's about a 5-foot gap that you'd have to leap to cross over if you want to get any closer. Oh, I forgot to link this. There you go.
Let's see. What would be the check for that?
That's going to be an acrobatics check, I would think.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay.
Just as you go to jump over this cliff, Piratesh says, "Be careful, Violet. Mind the gap." And then you tumble down into the pit.
What a short...
And you fall. And then, before you know it, Piratesh has resumed her previous size, and her legs are now standing in the pit, and she reaches down and she snatches you up in her hand, and you're now standing on her hand in this pit over here as she kind of pulls you around this cliff face. And then she just says, "Well, we're not off to a great start, but we haven't much time. Let us begin." And then she shrinks back down with you, and then kind of as her hand shrinks, she sets you all back on this here. like plateau. And then she takes her hand, which is now about, like your whole head fits in her hand, basically. But she touches the top of your head. And then and she just says, I promise this will not hurt. And then everything fades to black. And so now I got to kick you off of Violet here. And clear owner on Cirilla. Okay, you should be able to open the PC tab and pick Cirilla now. Okay, so most of this is going to be a theater of the mind. I am going to create one little empty map real quick for drawing in case we need to do that. Let's see here. New image. This works. Delete that one. Okay, just gotta grab a tile. Smartworks, no shock bolt. Background. Okay, and this is gonna be. We'll just do grass. Okay, and then I'll share this with you. For now, it's just empty, but if we need it, we now have a place to draw. Okay, let me get my little story piece open here. There we go. Oh, nope, I clicked the wrong one. Like I said, brain not working today.
That's okay.
Okay. All right, so you wake up suddenly and you are staring at the ceiling, a wooden ceiling. And a sunbeam is pouring over your face and kind of blinding you. But you do not recognize your surroundings. And you go to sit up and you look around the room and you realize you're in some sort of bedroom of some kind. In like some kind of a cabin, and out the window where the sun's coming through you see a bunch of fields, and out there you see a bunch of funny looking elves. I mean, you know what elves look like, but these elves look different. They're much taller and more slender and longer ears, almost sort of like alien-like compared to what you're used to now. The elves that you're familiar with in the solar planes are almost human-like, with just pointy ears and stuff. Plus, there's lots of interbreeding and stuff. In particular, your family also consists of several elves and some humans. You're a half elf, so obviously you're descendant of elves and humans. But these elves look more like the elves that you remember from stories as a kid. And you look further at the field and you see that these elves are using all sorts of different powers to manipulate this field. And you see one elf tilling soil with his with mold earth, basically drawing troughs down and planting seeds, and then you have other people that are using create water to water these new crops, and there's just tons of elves out there doing all sorts of work, but none of them have to do any actual like physical manual labor, it seems like, because they're all just using their powers. And you look and you catch a little mirror on the dresser that's across from your bed, and you catch a glimpse of yourself, of your reflection, and you realize that you are also a very tall ancient elf, and you are no longer Violet. You have pale skin and kind of an orange red hair. Sorry, what? Or no, it's brunette hair, excuse me.
Oh, this is the tallest I think I'm ever going to be. Like, she's just kind of looking over herself like, oh, what's happening?
And just as you're trying to figure out what's going on, you hear somebody coming down the stairs. There's clearly some staircase somewhere, and you can hear the distinct sound of somebody walking at a brisk pace down the stairs as they're coming down. And then suddenly your door opens. And it's a face you don't recognize, a very tall but older looking elf. And he looks at you and he just says, "Are you ready to go to the fields?"
Sure, yes. And I'm gonna get out of bed and everything. And...
All right. Come now, Cirilla. You're always late. And then he goes and he throws on a coat and goes out the door.
I'm going to, throw on my coat and follow suit.
Okay, so you walk out the door of your room and you walk down this hallway and you got a few little like trinkets and stuff around, but it's a very humble little dwelling. And then you walk out onto the front porch. And you notice that to the left and right of you, you've got some additional dwellings. It's like kind of a little like cul-de-sac of little cabins, basically. Presumably where all the people here working are living, at least for now, while they're working the field. And this guy's just kind of standing out there waiting for you, and he gestures as you kind of are looking around in awe, kind of going slowly down the hallway, and he's just like, Cirilla! We don't want to be late. We've got to tend to the field. We've got to get to my acreage.
Okay. And she's just going to kind of hurry up a little bit. She's a little uneasy at this point.
Okay. All right, you come out the door, and he kind of picks up on this, and he just says, he's like, "Are you all right? Did you not sleep very well?"
I had a really strange dream.
Well, shake it off. We got a lot of work to do, and we have another day of trying not to get caught. And then he starts to walk. I assume you follow him.
Yeah.
Okay, and he walks by and kind of just got his hands behind his back as he kind of walks very stoically down this field. He seems to be a well-known figure as tons of people are as they notice him are waving to him or saying hi. And one says, "Norden, hello, another beautiful day." And then Norden just waves back and kind of nods. And then another elf woman runs up to him. And you guess that she's probably about middle-aged for an elf, which who knows how long that is, considering how old these elves probably are. And she just says, "Norden, you're not going back to your new acreage, are you?" And he just says, "Of course I am." And then she looks at him, and then she looks at you, and she just says, "You're not taking Cirilla with you?" And he just says, "She's a big girl. She will learn." And she just says, he turns to you and he says, "Won't you, Cirilla?" He's looking at you now. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course I'll learn, but I do wonder what's so concerning about this acreage.
You know what we're doing? We've gone over this before. We've been relegated to this peninsula by the humans, whom legend tells we are supposed to be living in harmony with. So much for that. But we'll see who's afraid of the humans. I'm not afraid to farm outside of their imaginary border. And he just says, "Come on, we need the land and we need the crops if we're going to stay alive, if we're going to expand our society. They're just going to have to deal with it. They don't have any magics. They can't stop us."
Okay.
And then the woman just looks very concerned, and as he turns from her gaze, he just kind of, you watch her, she kind of shakes her head like, and then he just continues walking. You still follow him?
I do kind of want to at least do a perception check and just kind of look around. I'm actively curious about, like, is the flora and fauna, like, is the flora of everything different because it's older, or?
So, what you see is basically just vast fields of grass and an assortment of crops. But you also see the edge. You see like a tree line on one side to the south. And then to the north, you see basically what's like a beach or some kind of ocean. But before that, there's like probably several hundred yards of unworkable land, basically, because it's all beach, all sand. So it's a very small space, but they've done a very good job of consolidating the space as much as they possibly could. Every square inch that can grow a crop is actively tilled and the soil maintained, and the crops are growing. And you see there's a field of corn. You see a bunch of different assortments of vegetables being grown around. Some you don't even recognize. And just to be clear, you still have the mind of Violet. You're still Violet as far as you're concerned. You don't remember anything from this person's life that you experience, only your own. And yeah, so you see, like, you've never seen farming this efficient before, but clearly, according to Norden, it's not enough.
How can this not be enough? Look at how much we're producing.
You know just as well as I do, Cirilla, that the humans will come and take whatever they think they need, even what they don't. We have to feed ourselves and pay our rent, quote unquote. And he continues to walk down this path, and he turns right into another field, and then you see that there's this sort of swath kind of cut through the grass, and then you see a bunch of unused plainslands that are all green, kind of this grass waving in the wind and everything. And there's one little square that kind of cuts over the border into this new plainsland. And he just says, well, we're almost there. And he kind of picks up speed a little bit, excited to get back to working his new land.
I continue to follow.
Okay. All right. So you get there, and he's got this little shed that's kind of haphazardly constructed, clearly put together very quickly, and it's just got a few tools and stuff inside of it, but nothing too much. And one of the things he has in there is a basic hoe. As he starts to kind of till the rest of the soil, you can see that he's got still a corner of his land, of this new acreage to till and plant stuff. And so he's kind of just pulls out the hoe and starts doing that. And then he just says, why don't you grab the seeds?
Okay. I'm going to go into the shed and see if I can find the seeds that he's talking about.
Okay, roll an investigation check. All right, so you rummage around and you find basically like what is a tackle box full of different assortments of seeds, and they're all labeled in common. You see tomatoes, you see potatoes, you see green beans, you see one empty one that just says Ojin, you see another one that just says corn, and you see a variety of different seeds.
Okay, I'm going to bring the whole box out then at that point.
Okay. All right, so you bring the whole box out, and Norden unhinges it, opens it up, and it kind of comes out just like a regular like tackle box. Except this one's kind of, like everything else, haphazardly put together. And he starts rummaging through it. He's like, you mind running back to the cabin? I've got some more Ojin seeds in the chest drawer in the front foyer, front entryway.
Of course. I'm gonna, hurry back. I'm gonna try to hurry back.
Okay.
And as I am, I'm kind of gonna look at everyone. I kind of want to look at people and gauge how they're feeling, because they seemed uneasy about me going with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, just generally how people feel in general.
Okay. Roll me an insight check. Okay. So just as you said, as you're walking back, you're getting a look at everyone, and that one lady looks at you and again just kind of shakes her head, like she seems very concerned and doesn't seem to approve of what Norden has you doing. And so how she feels is pretty obvious. Everyone else is just kind of waves at you. They all seem kind of uneasy. Periodically, you see once in a few of them kind of look off in the direction of Norden. You get the impression that maybe they're worried that he's going to bring some heat down on them.
When I get to the house, I'm going to immediately get the seeds so I can get back quickly.
Okay, roll me an investigation check. Okay, so you get into the cabin and you're not able to find any of the seeds, and you start rummaging through the drawers, and then suddenly you find the seeds in the very bottom drawer, but the drawer kind of falls off of its hinge and falls to the ground, and the drawer was divided into multiple compartments of different types of seeds, and now all the seeds are in a big pile.
Oh, goodness.
So you can't tell them apart from each other. I mean, you can tell them apart from each other because all of them look quite different from each other, but you don't know what is what since they have no label.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to take the time as best as I can to, separate out what I can.
Okay.
Do I at all remember what the specific seeds looked like that I was looking for? Or at least that they didn't look like the other seeds. Like, which one doesn't match what I've already seen?
Oh, from the tackle box?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're able to do that. They would stand out pretty well. And there's only one seed actually that you don't recognize. It looks quite different from the rest. It's kind of a dark brown seed. It's large, like the size of a bean. It's got these little red protrusions coming out the side.
Oh.
And there's a handful of those.
I'm going to take the handful back and, best as I can, kind of put everything back as,
Okay. All right. You scoop everything up, you put it back in the drawer. The drawer goes back into the little hutch there that you got it out of. But the organization inside the drawer is definitely done with.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so you step outside the cabin, I assume, right? You're going back outside?
Yeah.
Okay, so you step back outside, and suddenly it catches your eye that everybody is looking up in the direction of Norden. And then you look over toward Norden, and you see two humans making their way across the field. They're like a few minutes away from Norden.
I'm going to start to make my way towards the field and kind of watch the two of them as closely as I can.
Okay, so as you look at the humans, you notice that they've got some armor on, and they've got each of them has a broadsword, and they're just kind of strutting their way across the field, like they're clearly not happy just by the way they're walking. They're going to start some trouble.
Okay.
You just continue to watch them?
I'm going to keep an eye on them, and I'm going to, if there's anyone else who's nearby, I want to ask what's going on.
Okay, so you ask this young boy next to you what's going on, and he's probably like early 20s or something, and he turns to you and he just says, "Look," and he points up at the humans, and he just says, "Your father's gone and done it. He's brought them down upon us, just like everyone said he would."
What are they going to do?
I don't know, but I'm not sure I want to know. I'm
going to continue to, come towards what I presume is my dad.
Okay. All right, so how close do you get to your dad, to Norden?
Well, I'm definitely going to be... I definitely want to be just a little bit away, but I'm definitely coming, I guess maybe 10 feet?
Okay.
Tops.
Okay, fair enough. Hold on, let's get this grid going real fast. Okay, I'm going to draw a few things here on this map. The first one will be your father's square of land, which is about right here. I'm not being as super accurate, just giving you a general idea. And then there is a swath of land, basically kind of cut. We'll just draw the border like that on the bottom there. And so the rest of this out here, outside the square, is the unused plainsland. Even the humans aren't using it. They've cut a swath through the grass basically and said don't cross this. And so your dad's farmland is the first to cross over this border. So let's go ahead and get the NPCs on here, and I'll throw you in the combat tracker. The game's frozen. Come on. Okay, let's get rid of Violet. Put you in here. And we'll put 2 of these guys. Oh, and then I guess I should get a token for your dad. Hold on a second. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so your dad is working this corner of the field here. Oh, let me make sure you can see him. And then also he's friendly. There. And then these 2 guards are about right here, making their way to you. And you are right near your dad, just 10 feet away, right?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. Alright. So the guards are coming closer, and you just gonna wait and watch what happens as they interact?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of... In essence, I'm looking at this as people are going to talk. I wait in turn.
Okay.
If shit happens, that's when I step in.
Okay. Well, these 2 guards stroll up, and they just say... they stroll up to him and they just say, "Have you lost your mind, old man?" And the one just kind of bonks him on the head a little bit with like the butt of his fist he's got this big glove on, and so it doesn't hurt him, but is insulting, and he just says, "Everything not going on all right in that head of yours?" And Norden just says, "I'm not afraid of either of you. We don't have enough room to farm for ourselves and give supplies to you. And I've expanded across the border. I'm changing the agreement. You can't do anything about it." And the one looks at the other and he just says, "Oh, thanks, baby." And the one looks at the other and he just says, "Right then, I guess we gotta show him what we can do about it." And the one guard kind of steps over here, and this guard immediately unsheaths this huge broadsword and goes to take a swing at him. So roll for initiative. Let's see. Where do I... There we are. Roll NPC.
One of those days. Yeah, no.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And
Mad at me.
this one's guard 3. I don't know why I have guard 1 and guard 3. Oh, well. So, yeah, guard 3 goes to take a swing. And I guess I could change his name. Norden. Norden dodges out of the way of this swing and kind of just reaches out toward him and excuse me, so pluggy. And he creates this ball of water on the edge of his palms, and basically just waterbender style, just throws it with force at guard 3 and knocks him back a few feet. And then just as he does that, the first guard runs him through the back with the sword. And then you are free to act. And you see the sword go straight into Norden's back, protrude from his chest. He's just, damn humans! And he kind of falls to his knees, and the guy behind him is just holding this sword, like, through him. Kind of got one hand on his shoulder and the other hand on the sword as he kind of presses it through even more, twists it.
At this point, I guess at this point I am going to cast I'm going to cast Mage Armor in this case.
Okay. All right. Is that something you can do as a bonus action, or is that something you...
It's a base action, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, so you use your turn to cast Mage Armor.
I do have Misty Step, so I can do that on a bonus action.
You sure can.
So, I'm casted Mage Armor. Okay.
Okay, and I've given you an extra AC of 3.
I can't affect the character sheet that you gave me, so I'm just gonna manually keep my mind on that.
Oh, on D&D Beyond? Yeah, don't. You can just use the in-game one. It's not a big deal.
Let's see. So, we'll move the max. 5, 15, 25, 30, basically. Or it might just be easier for me to move, It's really hard to do this because I have to move in a way that doesn't... Let's see. Okay.
I can put more tile down if you need to go backwards more.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay, hold on.
Because I basically hit like right about here.
Assets, images, backgrounds, grass floor. There. There you go. Okay, so you move away.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do not try to run up and deal with the situation directly. You're just preparing for a fight.
Yeah, because I know that that's what they want.
Okay. All right, so the one guard just kind of, he pulls his blade out, and then he takes a piece of cloth and he wipes the blood off it. He just, stupid elves. You guys think your magic is going to keep you safe. And the one guy just says, oh, look at me, I can control water. Oh, now there's a blade through my chest. They're just like mocking him as he falls on the ground, and he just bleeds out, and he's basically dying. And the one guard shouts, and he just says, you take that message back to the rest of your group. Don't cross the border again. You see what happens. And then they leave his body in the field, and they start walking away. Do you try to follow?
No.
Okay.
Chill touch.
Oh, okay. What are you doing with chill touch?
Did not mean to hit that twice.
Okay. So you try to chill touch, guard 3, alright.
Don't know how to do this. Used to using fire.
Guard 3 here. He's got an AC. Okay. Alright, so you try to cast a spell, and it misses. It's a little too far away. They're kind of moving away now. And yeah, you miss. And they start walking this way, just kind of laughing to each other, saying something you can't quite make out, but every once in a while they just erupt into that stupid laughter.
Okay. Ray of Frost.
Oh shit. Alright. Roll your damage.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. Alright, so it doubled it, right? Oh yeah, it did critical damage. Okay, that's hilarious. All right, so you do 2 damage with this ray of frost to guard 3, and you want to describe what it does when it hits him?
It's enough to get his attention, I would imagine. It's not going to hit him like really hard, but it's definitely enough to make him respond.
Okay, so it hits his shoulder, and it's like a ray of frostbite, basically, that just is annoying, and he shakes off a bit of ice as he turns around, and he just says, "Did you not learn your lesson?" And he starts heading back this way, and guard 1 says, "Here we thought you learned, and now I guess we gotta take care of you too." And they start heading towards you.
Let's see, they have 30 movement per turn, so I at least can get 1 more shot off.
Yeah, so let's see, they're gonna probably come about up here. And that's as far as they make it. They've kind of picked up pace now, trying to run towards you. Okay. All right, so again, you try to do another ray of frost, and it misses. And kind of, the guy holds up this shield, and it kind of deflects off the shield. All right, and then guard 1 gets close to you this time.
Well, no, I was going to use my second Misty Step to
Okay.
closer to other people.
Okay, sure.
Where would other people be?
So everyone else is really far away at this point because they've strayed clear of the border to make sure that they're not involved in whatever Norden is into. And so there's crops right behind you, but they're not well tended to because they're so near the border. So they've planted more resilient crops near the border that don't need a lot of, they're not high maintenance. And so right behind you basically is a bunch of corn that you kind of just plant, and then it goes off on its own with very minimal care. And so you kind of back your way into some corn, and then it's probably about, I would say 60 feet is the nearest person.
I could do that. Because I still have my movement left.
Yes. But you only have 30 feet of movement, right?
Yeah, but Misty Step goes 30 feet.
Oh, gotcha. Perfect. Cool.
So I'm going to make that extra bit and go, there's more of us than there are of them, and they want to fight.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh my god, why? Why is tonight this name?
All right, so you go to talk to this guy, and this guy is like an older guy. He's wearing like this sun hat thing with his elf ears kind of poke through the top of it, and he looks up at you, and he was looking down at the field, just like kind of tilling away with this hoe, and he looks up at you, and he just, and then he goes back to tilling, and he just says, "Don't stand there. You're going to attract attention to me. Go somewhere else." And then that's it for your turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guard 1 is going to make it. Let's see. At this point, Norden has definitely expired.
Yeah. There was really not much I could do there to fix that.
Right. Let's see. 30 feet. So, yeah, you got really far away from them. Holy crap. Oops. Here we go. About right there. Okay, and then guard...
There's 2 movements to catch up.
Yeah, guard 3 is going to be about right there. Okay, and it's your turn again.
What is okay? Is this because of the banana?
Reaping some karma, apparently, for something.
Next closest person.
All right, so there is another farmer. Let me just copy this guy. No, you gotta be green. I thought it turned off this auto numbering bullshit. Alright. That'll be 1, 2. That's farmer 1. Okay. So the next person would be over here.
That's not that far. That can be easily made. Okay.
Okay. And this is the woman you saw earlier who was disapproving of Norden taking you out there. And she just says, Cirilla, get behind me. Your father shouldn't have taken you out there in the first place. We all knew this was going to happen.
They killed him. There's more of us than there are of them.
Of course they killed him. He didn't listen. He insisted on putting us all in danger.
They want to pick a fight. Let's put them in danger. We have more than enough resources.
Roll a persuasion check.
Please.
Okay. She thinks for a moment and she just says, you're not wrong, but if they go missing or they escape, either way, they're coming back with more men. Eventually we'll be overwhelmed.
But we have the advantage. We have the magic.
I have no doubt we could win this one fight, little one. But are we sure we want to begin an all-out war with our human neighbors?
It's better than living behind a line they drew in the dirt.
Very well. And she kind of puts her fingers together and whistles, and this first guy looks up and sees you and her conversing, and then he hears the whistle and he kind of just grumbles as he gets up and comes closer. And then let's see. Let me look at my notes. There was about 6 people over here. Okay. Why is that? I don't understand this numbering. Okay, I'm going to just put a few different people here that have shown up. Let's see, that guy's number 5. And then one more. 6. Oh, they're random numbers. That's weird. Okay. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. So here's 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So 6 of these people, including the lady you're talking to now, all come running up, tools in hand, and they kind of gather around behind her and you, and they're looking as these guards come closer. Let's see here. Oh, good. It already rolled initiative for them all. All right. And one of them just looks over to the gal you're talking to, and they just say, Jay, what should we do? Should we attack, or should we wait for them to get closer? And she just says, wait for them to get closer. Cirilla, get behind us so we can protect you.
Understood.
Okay, and so let's see.
I don't have my movement left, so.
So since nobody's moving, they're gonna wait, and then guard 1. Oh, I'll let you have a little bit of leeway with that over there. Okay, so guard 1 is going to come about 30 feet right there. I keep moving the whole map when I'm trying to grab a token. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and jump guard 3 up there. Okay, and then, well, I guess she just says to hold the ground, so we're just going to wait until they're right up on you guys. So another 30 feet is...
Before we quite get there, I would like to cast a second round of mage armor.
Okay.
On another one of the farmers, like, as I'm moving backwards, like farmer 2.
Okay. Let's see, farmer 2. All right. There we go.
Oh, you've already added it, or...?
No, if you target it and you hit that button, it'll apply the effect to them, and then they'll have a higher AC. Sweet. Okay. And then Farmer 2 sees the shield imbued around, and he turns around and knows the you and Norden are basically renowned for your defensive abilities. And he turns around and gives you a thumbs up and a nod, and then he turns back holding his gardening tool, just waiting for them to get closer. And then Jay speaks up and just says, I just realized that I gave this NPC the same name as your partner. And Jay looks up and she says, come no further or we will end you. And then the rest of your party just goes, yes, you already got rid of Norden. Don't make us kill you. And Guard 1 just says, your magic will not save you. We will come back with reinforcements. And Guard 1 starts to turn around to leave as they see that everyone is now congregating together. And Guard 3 also turns around to leave, realizing that they probably made a mistake by venturing so far close to this group of you that are now banding together. And let's see, it is now, I guess it would be Farmer 5's turn. Okay, where's my notes at? Okay, so this guy just runs up behind him. Farmer 5, there you are. Is that? Okay, good. He is able to run up behind him and tries to club him over the head. Holy shit, with a natural 20.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, Guard 3. I forgot you already did 2 damage to this guy.
Gab.
Okay, and then... Alright, that's 2 more damage to this guy as he gets hit on the back of the head. And he just says, you better keep running. And then it is your turn.
I've changed targets because I want the one who's further away to at least take 1 hit, hopefully. Why did it double throw?
It's because you have the guard targeted still too. Oh, you just untargeted it.
I had it.
Oh, the miss made the guard untarget. That's why when you miss, if you roll against multiple targets and any misses, automatically untarget.
Weird. Well, let's see. The one. Why did it have the farmer still selected? Weird.
Probably just because you didn't unselect him after applying the mage armor.
Weird. I went out of my way to unselect people.
If you look in the combat tracker, you can see it says targets, and it'll literally tell you your targets. So now you have Guard 1 and Farmer 2 targeted.
I didn't intend for that. I only intended to target Guard 1. Oh well. I still missed.
Okay. Let's see. Clear. There we go.
I don't really have anything else to do as bonus actions at this point.
Okay. No more spell slots?
No, it's just I don't have anything that's on a bonus action.
Oh, right, because you just used one and missed. Okay. So you tried to Ray of Frost the guy. Jeez, your rolls. Holy crap.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so you go to Ray of Frost this guy, and then you miss, and then immediately Jay just says, get him! And they all overwhelm these 2 humans. And just to speed things up here, at this point, with everyone attacking, the humans don't really stand a chance, especially since they're trying to run away. And you guys pretty much beat them to a pulp. And they're toast. And you guys are free to discuss with the group, like if you want to do anything else or what. But Jay says, she's like, well, we took care of this threat. And then she turns to you and she just says, but Cirilla, this will not be the end of it. We have to rally everyone together. We have to prepare for a fight.
Yes, we do. I have a question. Do I historically know anything? Because I can roll a history check.
Ah, yes. I was not going to tell you about that unless you decided to try it. So go for it. What are you specifically trying to know about? Something specific?
Do I know anything about this specific incident and what happens, basically?
So, the thing that I was not going to tell you is that your history check, if it's well, you have a chance to glean knowledge from the body you're inhabiting. So, like, basically, you will know some things that your host would know. Basically, does that make sense?
Okay.
That Cirilla would know.
Yeah.
Okay.
14, so.
All right, so 14. And so as far as you, Violet, you do not remember any of this stuff. These are clearly ancient elves of some kind or some sort of alien elf. And given that Piratesh said that they're your ancestors, you can pretty much surmise that this is a very long time ago. So nothing here looks familiar. And I should also mention that when you look up at the sky, the sun is now midday compared to where it was when you first came out in the morning, and it's been a couple hours now, and the sun has moved. And this is very strange to you, as you're used to living in the solar planes where the sun is always at high noon. Sorry?
Just sort of the what about the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, and so this place is kind of, at first looks a little familiar, but then kind of starts to look more alien the closer you look at it. And you're trying to think back, and you get this little glimmer of a memory of a legend. And you get the sense that this memory is coming from the host that you're inhabiting, the person that whose memory you're experiencing. And you recall this legend that the Eladrin and the humans were transplanted here from another place, from somewhere far away, and then you were given this new land to take care of and live in harmony together. And that's how the legend goes, basically. But the actual history of why you're here, and during your lifetime, all you've experienced is human subjugation, basically, or oppression, as they've kept you relegated to this little corner of this huge continent, basically, and they kept you in this one little pocket. They're very intimidated by your abilities.
They're going to come back. But they don't have magic like we do.
Cirilla, we can't take on an army of humans, not even with magic.
We can if we're smart about how we use it. How easy do you think it is to burn through a whole tree? Like, when you... This is going to be out of character here, but when you really get down to it, with a torch, it's still kind of questionable to burn through a whole tree, so... Mm-hmm. I have a plan.
Okay.
I want to convince them to help uproot nearby trees and build a wall. It's
okay.
Not the best wall, but the reality of it is it's going to take more than a night for them with just torches to burn this down.
All right, and so do you relay that to Jay and the group here? Okay, and so Jay just says, well, a wall would be a good start. And she says, all right, everyone, let's get to it. Anyone who can manipulate Earth with me. And she starts walking to the tree line. And as soon as she gets there, her and a bunch of other elven mages just kind of put their hands out forward, and they immediately start moving the ground, pulling dirt away from the roots, and then they're slowly just kind of pulling this tree out, and then poof, they just kind of pop it out of the ground, and then they walk it over to the edge of the field here, but farther away, like covering Norden's territory, building a wall further out than the actual border that they gave you guys. And they continue to do this. It's gonna probably take several hours to build a whole wall out of all these trees, but yeah, eventually they're able to move them over. And several of these mages appear to have the ability to manipulate plants, even, and they kind of intertwine the branches, interlocking these trees together without breaking them and stuff. So they're pretty solid trees, literally uprooted from the ground instead of chopped down, and their roots and branches all intermingled to form like this pretty solid wall. And then eventually they all stop. Jay kind of dusts her hands off, and then she just says, mission accomplished. What should we do next? You seem to have all the ideas, Cirilla.
We should start preparing. They're probably going to march in a much larger amount. Um, what other magics do we have here? I've seen earth moving, I've seen water moving.
Well, we've got Masters of the Air, and you see several people in the back kind of step forward. And then we have one Master of Fire, I believe. Where's Jamil? And then they turn, and then this one guy steps out from the back of the group. You now have like quite a few people here, by the way, not just the 6. Like probably like 15, 20 people have gathered around now. And this one guy, Jamil, steps out, and he just kind of snaps his fingers, and a little flame appears in his hand. He just says, "What can I do?"
Oh, that's a familiar feeling. Violet already misses fire. We need to start readying, because when they march, we're going to have to fight back. How much oil do we have?
Oil? Don't think we have any oil. Oil would be the humans department. You think they're going to share that with us?
Either way, we need to be ready. We need to be ready. We need to have regular watches. Is there anyone else that in this area that could really help us, or is it just us?
This is just us. We've been here for a long time. Obviously, we're more long-lived than the humans, so our population grows slowly.
Then we'll do what we can with what we have.
Very well. And then she kind of points and points to different places for a variety of people to take up outlook points around this wall that you guys have created. Which I am going to
kind of ponder, because now I'm like, well, I've started a revolution. What did she want me to see?
Piratesh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's that realization of, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What did she want me to know?
Good question. You have no answers.
Another history check and see what else I can glean from Cyrilla, hopefully.
Okay. Nice. All right. You get the impression that you have like this kind of vague memory from Cyrilla's perspective of the excuse me, at least during her lifetime, that the humans were not always like this. In the beginning, the humans were actually fascinated by the magical powers of the Eladrin and tried to learn. And then only when they started to form factions and stuff. But basically, they were all deposited here because they were basically being relocated from some other place where there was some dangerous enemy, and the humans and Eladrin were both victims. And the humans tried to get along at first and tried to learn your abilities, and then some of the humans started banding together, deciding that they're going to take things into their own hands, and that basically they became fearful of anything out of the ordinary, anything that they couldn't do or anything they perceived as a threat. And they started a propaganda campaign basically against the Eladrin, and then eventually won over the hearts and minds of most humans, and they were finally able to force you to relocate to this little reservation, basically, where they basically have left you there to die, because they come in and they raid your crops and stuff once in a while as some sort of payment for their kindness or some whatever bullshit they convince themselves of. And then other than that, you don't really interact with them unless you step outside the designated area. Do you do anything else for the next couple hours? The sun is now definitely much further west.
I think I would go out of my way to dig through the house I woke up in.
Okay.
And see what I can learn, basically.
Okay. All right.
I imagine investigation?
Sure, yeah. Let's do an investigation check. Okay. The most useful thing you're able to find is a diary of Cyrilla's. And as you thumb through it, you basically just see some tellings of stories in her life of mostly just tilling the fields and helping out her father in any way she can, and interacting with the different residents here. And your little group here basically has puts on several festivals during the year, and they try to make the best they can of a hopeless situation, but you don't really get anything useful other than just an idea of how much life sucks here, being trapped in this little corner and not being able to interact with anyone outside of this group. And with that, let's take a little break while I finish my food here, and then we'll continue.
Okay.
So like 5 minutes. And I'll be back at 7:10, between 7:10 and 7:15.
Okay.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back.
Ready to continue?
Yeah, I was just looking at a couple of the Steam Game Festival demos.
Oh, nice. All right, so I did forget to mention one thing. When you were looking through the diary, you found one entry in the diary that talks about a pendant that your father gave you. And next to the diary is the pendant in the drawer. And when the diary entry basically just reads and says that your father gave you a pendant today for your 12th birthday. And he said to keep it safe. And he said that they've kept it in their family since before they got to this new land. And he says that it will help fight what is surely to be our greatest enemy.
I want to pick up the pendant at that point.
Okay.
To examine it.
Okay. You pick it up, and it's very odd looking. It's almost technological in design. The way it has, it's like kind of glowing a little bit, and it's very metallic, heavy. It's probably about the size of a 50-cent piece, but thick. Like probably the thickness of an Apple Watch.
Oh.
And as you go to pick it up, there's like a little sconce on the desk above the drawer, and as you pick up this pendant, which has a little bit of lace through the pendant, or around this little hole on the top of the pendant, so that you can wear it as basically a necklace. But as you do, it magnetizes itself to the sconce, to this metal sconce.
Huh. I'm gonna pull it away from the metal sconce.
Okay, and it pulls free and just dangles there.
I'm going to put the pendant on.
Okay, so you put it on, and you don't feel any different. Nothing seems any different, but you now have the pendant. Do you do anything else in the meantime? You're now about half an hour away from the sun setting.
I'm gonna roll another history check and see what I can glean from her again. Oh, these are doing fine.
Alright, so you have a memory. And now that you're thinking about this pendant and reading the diary entry, you remember being given this pendant. And you remember the story that your dad used to tell you about these evil creatures from some other reality or some other plane or something that would terrorize, that would show up one day and ruin the paradise that the Eladrin lived in, basically on their in their homeland. And were driven out of their homeland, and then just as they were, as tons of Eladrin died in this massacre, basically, is this very alien creature or of some kind that basically he described him as made of stone, and they basically wrecked the place. You don't remember any of this because you were just a child, but you and your family were scooped up and rescued by someone who led you over to this new land and deposited you here alongside a buttload of humans, and the humans also were terrorized by this evil presence, and they were dropped on this same place. And they basically dropped everyone off here and said to live in harmony until their return. This is the story that your dad used to tell you.
Well, we can't live in harmony if we live in inequality. So. I guess I'm trying at least a little bit.
Okay, so now this.
Just kind of talking to herself a little bit about that.
So the sun sets, finally. It is now pretty dark outside. The last remnants of light from the sun have disappeared. And suddenly, you hear a whistle, and it's a familiar whistle. Clearly, Jay is out there alerting everybody. And you look up out at the tree line beyond the wall, and you see suddenly the light spread out across the plain of torches as a huge line of humans emerges from the far tree line at the other end of the untilled plains. And you just kind of hear the clinking of metal and stuff as they draw their weapons and stuff, and they start kind of beating their chest in a rhythm as they come closer, like as they're getting closer, and they kind of start yelling. And like you only hear one voice clearly as he says, "This is karma coming to get ya." Do you do anything?
I want to address the people as best as I can.
Okay. So Jay and a bunch of people are gathered up on the wall here. They've already got a system for relaying messages to each other.
We've spent all of our lives being oppressed here. Ever since we've come here.
Yes?
We've been given a line in the dirt. They didn't even grace us with a fence or a wall or anything. They just drew a line in the dirt.
You're right, Cyrilla.
Legend says that we're supposed to live in harmony, but we can't live in harmony if we live in inequality.
Well said. And here, they all kind of raise their weapons up and their hands up.
We have to stand, we have to fight, and this is where we have to make our stand. They've oppressed us, they've refused us food, they've treated us like dirt, and they've killed the people that we love.
You get inspiration. And that you can carry that over to Violet if you like, if you don't use it tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely inspired them all, and they're like, yeah, and they kind of go back to their wall, and they're watching this line of humans march, when all of a sudden you see a bunch of arrows come flying through the air, and they just kind of land in the field and on the wall around various places as these arrows just kind of land all around you, and nobody seems to get hit with this first volley. You guys don't seem to have any weapons aside from magic and your farming tools, and so there's not really anything you could do but maybe throw rocks. Or are you just gonna wait? You gonna have everybody wait?
I think we're going to have everybody wait, because at that point they're at the base of these trees, and it's probably pretty hard to actually be able to aim arrows in that way.
Okay.
So I got at least that going for us.
It's true. All right, yeah. So, and another volley of arrows, and just like you said, they're having to aim them like a super high arch to get over your tall tree wall to hopefully land some hits on the other side. And let's see here. Okay, and nobody gets hit again with the second volley. And then the humans move much closer, and they've now hit the tree line. So they're probably like 10 feet away from the tree wall, basically, that you guys have created. And they start climbing the wall. Do you have your people do anything, or should they just start firing at will?
We're going to shape water. They're in heavy armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use the force of the water to push them back.
Okay. All right. So you have several water mages ready, and immediately they cast water from their fingertips, and they just wash these guys off the wall, and the water kind of washes them back into the field, and more arrows fly up. And
well, they're down, basically.
all right, well,
everything you can when they're down.
Yeah, lucky this one of the mages, an arrow grazes her shoulder, but she manages to hop down off the wall after washing them off the wall. And then they're now everything is muddy, and they're trying to right themselves. But the second wave, basically behind that first line of humans, just steps over them and starts to also climb the wall. More water.
More water.
Okay. All right, so they cast again. The water washes them down off the wall, and they kind of hit the first guys who are still trying to stand up. Some of them slipping now in the mud, and their heavy armor. It's making it hard for them to stand up. But the third wave behind them kind of picks them up, pushes them forward, and climbs on top of them. So basically they form like a 3-man chain sitting on their shoulders, and then fall forward, and that's enough to hit the top of the wall. And so now there's a line of humans that have made it to the top of the wall, and the water mages are trying to create more water, but now the 3 water mages that you have up at the front lines are now overwhelmed with hand-to-hand combat, basically, as they draw their swords and they're fighting up on the wall. Let's see.
At this point, I want to see if we can get as much like combat spellcasting done at these guys who've made it to the top.
Okay.
Myself included, probably in this.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and there's tons of targets, so just tell me what you are, and then just do a manual roll.
I guess I would be kind of around like the center of the wall ish.
Okay.
And I'll go for Ray of Frost, please.
Yeah, all right. So you hit one of these guards with Ray of Frost, and immediately the whole like half of his body frosts over, and he just roll your damage. Nice. And this guy is immediately pushed off the wall as he falls down to the other side of the wall, and the portion of his body that is frozen, mostly around his hip and leg area, shatter. And you just hear him screaming on the other side of the wall. Just like freaking out. Okay, and then the rest of your group, again, you see a firebolt come out from behind you, and it hits one of the humans on the wall. He immediately ignites into flame, and he runs haphazardly across the wall, and he lights 2 others on fire, just trying to get away. And then you see several more rays of frost come out from some of your other fellow water mages, and I keep almost saying water benders. And it hits more humans too, and tons of the humans go down, but several handfuls worth spill in on the edges here over the wall, and they've now climbed into your area and have engaged in hand-to-hand combat with whoever they can come in contact with.
I'm going to where does the army seem weakest on the other side of the wall?
Probably in the middle where you guys are pummeling them. That's why they're kind of split up, and they're going this way and this way to try and get around the main force that you guys are putting up.
Then I'm gonna make the call out to focus on the sides too. I'm gonna take the right.
Okay.
And I'm going to go out of my way to move a little bit further that way and go in for another ray of frost, hopefully.
Jay does another whistle and turns to the left and takes a few others with her. Okay, you gonna target someone? Okay, another ray of frost, and that's oh, okay. So you you launch a ray of frost up at the top of this wall, and it barely glances off of one of these guys' shields as he becomes enraged and hops down off the wall and starts sprinting towards you. Let's see here. PC. There we go. And he makes it about that far. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's coming towards you, very angry that you tried to frost him. But that's as far as he was able to make it in his movement. We're kind of doing the combat tracker a little half-fast right now since it's kind of crazy. So I'm just going to focus on your battle with this guy right now.
I'm gonna take a chance.
Okay.
I want to cast Charm Person.
Nice. All right. Oh, wait. Save. Oh, wait. He succeeded.
How did he... He just... I'm having that day.
Yeah.
Wow.
He rolled a 19. Holy shit.
Jeez.
All right. So you go to cast Charm Person, and he just kind of shakes it off and keeps running towards you. And let's see. That's 25 feet. Yep. So he's able to close the distance.
I'm still going to move a little bit so I can try to kite.
Ah, okay.
So it's 30 feet at least, so he's still got, like, he'll move up, like, another 5-ish feet.
Yeah.
That should be good.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So he tries to get closer, and you manage to pull away, and it's your turn again.
Let's go for the... Ray of Frost. Come on, dude!
Let's see. Okay. Do you move any more on your turn?
I'm gonna move here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on his turn, he is going to run up the 30 feet, and he's going to take a swing at you with his sword because he's barely able to make it within 5 feet. So finally, he gets to try to hit you. That hits you. And that does 8 damage. As he takes this sword and just kind of slices right into your side and kind of cuts through your shirt a little bit, and then it cuts like right into your side, and it hurts pretty bad. As you're now losing some blood, and you kind of have to right yourself, and you kind of see your mage armor shimmer as his blade passes through it. And it is your turn.
I'm gonna take the moment to use my Tides of Chaos for this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for my Frostbite.
Okay.
Oh wait, I need to roll it with advantage.
Just roll it again.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Why am I just not allowed to fight today?
I don't know. I'm not sure what god you pissed off. I promise there's no control in this game over the dice. It's just bad luck. Okay. Alright, so his turn.
Puts me into a bad position. Okay. I can't leave.
Yeah, that's true. Oh wait, why can't you leave?
I have to use my action to disengage.
Oh, right, because I'll get an opportunity attack. But so you could use your movement, you just get an opportunity, and that's what you're trying to avoid, right?
Yeah, and he's still going to be able to then rush me again, is the issue at that point.
That is true. Okay. So, let's see. He is going to take another swing, given that you're right there. And miss as he plants his sword into the grass. And then kind of pulls it out and gets ready for another hit. Your turn again.
Oh, it's a bonus action. Okay, I didn't know that. Alright, I can convert sorcery points as a bonus action. Did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I've got 3 of them, so I can get at least 1 second level spell back.
Okay.
Or I can get, I think... Yeah, I can get 1 first level spell back too.
Okay. Up to you.
We'll use the bonus action to get my Misty Step back, and hopefully be able to use it next turn.
Okay.
And I'll go for the Frostbite again.
Wow.
Finally!
Finally what?
Oh no, he saved again.
Yeah, that's it's the reverse because you see success, but it's success for the soldier. All right, he saves again, and then he tries to attack you again, and he misses. he goes to attack you, and he gets off balance, and the weight of the sword as he swings it pulls him forward, and he falls prone beside you right here as his blade sticks into the grass, and he's now prone on the ground trying to wrench free his blade from the grass, but he's really wedged it in there. Let me put the prone on him so it does that for us.
I think prone gives advantage on attacks, but I'm not sure.
It gives a disadvantage on ranged attacks and advantage on melee attacks.
Yeah. Frostbite isn't considered a melee attack. We'll have melee weapons.
I don't honestly though. If you're just standing over him and you're shooting frostbite, I don't think that matters. Yeah, no, you're right. It's not even the same as a regular ranged attack.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my bonus action to Misty Step.
Okay.
And hold myself back 30 feet.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm going to step about 45 feet back.
Okay. All right, so
We'll go for the Ray of Frost.
okay.
Because now we're going to use my action. What? Who was it aimed at this time?
Oh, it was because he's prone, so it's disadvantage to ranged attacks.
Yeah, that's the best I could do, though. Fair enough.
All right.
I have to wait for him to get up, but, you know.
Yep, so on his turn now, he uses half his movement standing up, and then he is able to move to about, what, there. Okay. And so he pulls his sword free, he's getting real upset, and then he's able to move a little bit closer, but it took him a long time to stand up and pull his sword out of the ground. So it is now your turn again. He is definitely fixated on you. He's not paying attention to anything else going on in this battle.
Let's see.
Oh, let me remove prone from him. Effects. There we go.
What?
His armor class is 16. All right, so you go to hit him again with Ray of Frost. You're just casting all these Rays of Frost, and he just keeps, they glance off his shield, or they go right by him, and he comes sprinting towards you, and he is going to dash. Let's see, you're 50 feet away? Yeah, okay.
Dash takes an action.
Yes, it does. So he dashes up right in front of you. And that is it for his turn. Your turn.
And frostbite. Get him this time. And at this point, I'm going to call for help.
Okay.
Because now I know I'm definitely closer to other people who might have had a little bit better luck fighting.
Right, and and there are several mages around you, and they hear the call for help, and they come running up to you to help out. And just as they do, you watch as this huge metal, like what's the word for it? It's this huge, like, spiky metal wheel comes barreling through the wall that you guys put up right here. Just kind of grinds through these trees and then grinds through the field and heads this way. And then it says like a 90-degree turn, and from this point it turns back and it crashes through the wall right there. And you just kind of hear the clanking of metal, like clink, 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 as this thing kind of rotates around this giant spiky wheel. And then you watch as it goes through the tree line, and then it goes right through a swath of humans, of these human soldiers trying to climb over this wall, and just grinds them up into gory little bits as it charges through the wall and back out into the field on the other side, and you can't see it anymore because of the tree wall.
Okay.
And then this soldier is just completely dumbfounded, and he's no longer looking at you anymore, and he's kind of looks like he's in shock as this thing went right behind him, and one of the little spikes on there just nicked him in the leg just a little bit, and he turned around and it just was just completely in shock, and he fell backwards onto his tailbone on the grass, and he's just kind of propping himself up with his arms behind him, and he's just like looking on like, what the hell? Do you take advantage of this?
Yeah.
Okay. You're free to act.
Let's see. He busted a hole through the wall. Like it busted a hole through the wall.
Yeah, there's a big hole right there where the line crosses the tree wall. And then there's a big hole over here where the line crosses the tree wall. In fact,
That was
here, I can...
Okay.
Let's see, painting. There we go. There's clearly a bug with this eraser tool. Whatever. Pretend there's another hole.
I'm definitely going to take that time to pull back away from him.
No, did you say that was the humans?
I think that was the humans.
So you think about that for a moment, but you realize you witnessed it grind through humans as it went back through the wall.
What was that? Even I'm kind of like... Okay, better question. I'm going to move further away from this dude, and I'm going to examine the fellows on the walls. Are they excited to see this, or...
Okay, so you look up at the wall where there's tons of soldiers fighting, several of your mages teleporting around with Misty Step, and some of them just kind of keeping distance so they can fight with earth and water and fire and everything they can throw at them. And most of the mages now have stepped back to kind of where you are, as these humans have pushed themselves over the wall. And then suddenly you see humans running through the holes in the wall, but screaming and looking back over their shoulders. And as you look through, or as you're looking at this wall line that's basically kind of filling up your horizon, suddenly you see a bunch of metallic limbs, for lack of a better term, as tons of machines grind their way up to this wall, and you just kind of see them lifting up these limbs, and this one looks almost like a spider as it uses its front two legs to crush the tree wall right in front of it, and then all at once, like all these machines of different shapes and sizes, some of them shaped like beasts, some of them shaped like these wheels of death like you saw earlier, some of them shaped like little flying little discs, and they come crushing over the tree line there, just slaughtering humans, and it even takes a couple of your mages out as they come across. And one of these little machines, it's like kind of a smaller one, although it's still like 3 times as big as you are, comes rolling through the field here, and then it kind of forms, think of like those destroyers from Star Wars that have the little shields that they roll around in a ball otherwise. It's kind of like that, and it comes up to you and it unfurls, and you just see, let's see, it look around, and it's got these glowing like red running lights all over it, and you notice they all have this, and the whole plains area now is like glowing red as these machines are swarming over it. And this one stops and looks around, and it looks at you, and then it looks back around and just says human decimation 98%, and then it curls back up into a ball and rolls off and crushes more humans around the wall. As this machine kind of gets away from you, you realize, you look down and you watch as your pendant falls back to its normal position, and you realize it was outstretched kind of like toward the machine as it got close. But then as the machine leaves, it drops back down to your chest.
There's one that's really big over all of them?
So the biggest machine is like this big spider that's kind of crushed the center of the wall there. This big spider machine but they seem intent on, there's been a few elven casualties, but it seems to be that they're focused on the humans. And then another one rolls up to you and just says, human decimation 99%. And then it looks at you and a red light pops out and it scans you. At least it seems to scan you as this red light goes over you. And it just says, Eladrin, target in queue. Finish processing humans. And then it comes back and just grinds more humans to bits.
I'm going to make my way towards the biggest one.
Okay.
It's obvious what I'm intended to. This pendant has to have something to do with them. It's supposed to be used to stop something. This might be it.
Perhaps. So I'm just going to use this guy's token. This is the big spider in the middle, but there's tons of machines swarming all around. Little bug-like machines, little wheel-like machines. And they're just cutting swaths through the fields. No regard for your crops or even your fellow Eladrin. But they are focused on the humans for the moment. And then, right as you start to approach, another one, they all kind of say in unison, almost like the Borg, if you've ever seen Star Trek. They're just like, human decimation complete. Acquiring next target. Eladrin. High priority. And then you see the machines lock on to the nearby elves that are trying to escape this frenzy, and 2 of them they just get ground to bits instantly.
Okay, is there any way to enter this thing?
The big spider? Not that you can tell, no.
I want to take the amulet and I want to press it to the big spider.
Okay. All right. You need you to roll a dexterity saving throw on your way to this guy. Nice. All right. So as you're running, one of these flying disc-looking machines, almost like a horizontal saw blade, just kind of zooms by, and you manage to duck just in time as it goes right over your head, takes a piece of your hair with it. But then you run up to it, and you said you're going to put the pendant on the spider, like on its leg? Hello?
Yeah, if I can. I don't know what this thing does and what I'm supposed to do with it. Just that I'm supposed to do something with it. Okay.
Do you take it off of your neck before you do this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you take it off your neck and you hold it out there, and immediately it magnetizes to the limb of this spider. And then you see as everything in the vicinity, all the machines freeze in place instantly, and all their little red running lights and everything that kind of accent their features begin to blink. and then the big spider that you attached it to, the blinking red running lights turn green, and they're still blinking, and it just says, Eladrin next in queue, human decimation complete, retreat north, the clearing. And then the lights flicker from green to red, just as this huge machine manages to get out one more word, hurry, and then everything comes back to life again. I need you to make 3 dexterity saving throws.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay.
Excuse me.
No.
All right, so you go running back to the clearing to get out of this frenzy, and they're wrecking the rest of your allies now, just kind of picking them up, shredding them in half, like all the whatever horrendous things you can think of. These machines don't seem to care about how you die as long as you die. Another one of those discs comes flying by. You manage to dodge it. Another one of those more vertical-looking blade wheels, like you saw in the first place, comes by, and you stop just short of it as it cuts through in front of your path, cutting you off, and creates like a little trench about 5 feet. So you're not able to go that way unless you want to jump across. And so would you have tried to jump this trench, by the way, or would you have just turned and run a different direction?
Probably, I would have tried to jump the trench.
Okay, let's do an acrobatics check. Okay.
Not allowed to jump.
You jump and you fall into this little trench that this wheel carved. And the trench
feels familiar.
and the wheel doubles back on itself and is headed your direction. As you try to pull yourself out of this trench, just at the last second, you try to get out, and this thing just takes your hand right off. And you now have no hand, as you're losing blood rapidly from this stump on your arm, but you are filled with adrenaline as your life is in danger. What do you do?
I gotta figure out a way out of this pit.
You made it out of the pit just in time, so like just as you were trying to stand up, you kind of like are turning around and put your hands on the edge of the pit to stand up. That's when it took your right hand off. And it is clearly a ton of pain, but you're still running on adrenaline, so it hasn't quite hit you. The full pain hasn't hit you yet.
Then at this point, I'm gonna keep running and hope everyone else runs too at this.
Okay. You realize you know this area pretty well, even over the border, especially because if you're not doing anything super noticeable, like kids go playing in the trees and stuff and run out into the plains, and you clearly remember that north, across these plains and through the tree line on the opposite side is a clearing. And you heard the machine when it was green say, retreat north, the clearing. And so you're able to put that together that maybe it's referring to this same clearing that you're aware of.
Yeah.
So you going to continue north probably, I assume, try to run around these guys? Okay. All right, so you are able to make your way out as the machines seem to press forward into your territory since there's a lot more targets. Roll me a stealth check. As you're trying to sneak around the back of these guys.
Oh!
Nice! All right, so covering up your stump, trying to apply pressure to it, you sneak around the outside here, and you encounter basically a bunch of fires that have started out here. The grass plains are on fire, and the very edge of the tree line is on fire. And you run into the tree line here, and it's getting a little bit smoky, but the fire is like complete camouflage. They can't sense you, and even if they could detect like heat sensors, all they can see is fire. And so you're super protected in this tree line right now. But you are losing blood pretty fast as this stump is just gushing blood. You're trying to apply pressure, but I mean, you're missing a whole hand.
Can I spot anyone else who's managed to make it this far, or?
No, you're it. You're the only person that you can see. All you can see around you is scores of dead humans and fire and scorched earth.
Can I search some of the humans looking for either like a medical kit or a potion or something?
Roll an investigation check. Okay, so you're rummaging around trying to find something that the humans had to use, but you can't find anything. But you do realize that you could use the fire to probably cauterize the wound.
This is gonna hurt.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay, so you grit your teeth and you just jam the stump of yours into the burning trees at the edge of this forest, and you scream a little bit through your teeth, but you manage to keep quiet enough that nobody hears you, and you don't lose any more hit points as you finally stop the flow of blood. But now the searing pain of this burning is your new the new bane of your existence as you're forced to muster forward.
I can deal with that.
Okay.
I haven't died yet. We're doing great. Let's continue north. I want to find this clearing.
All right. So you know your way, and you run through the tree line, and you peer out into the clearing. Roll me a perception check. Okay. So you look around, you don't see anything except for some sort of vehicle of some kind, some sort of construction in the middle of the clearing. It looks very different from the machines. The machines look very ominous and evil, but this vehicle, it looks like some kind of ship, maybe. Has kind of like got these color, like purple and yellow and white colors on it. It's kind of, it's pretty aesthetically pleasing, actually. Looks very otherworldly.
I'm gonna approach it cautiously.
Okay, so you walk up to this thing, and the side of it kind of opens up like a Lamborghini, like a hatch that opens upward, and just, and then clearly like some sort of pressurized atmosphere inside is released as these lights inside flicker on. And then you just hear a voice, kind of a robotic but friendly voice come from inside, and it just says, "Please step aboard. We are ready to depart."
Depart where?
Please, we do not have much time. Step aboard. You are being relocated.
She cautiously steps onto the ship.
Okay.
And asks again, where are we going?
As soon as you do, the door behind you closes, and then a door on the aft side of the ship also closes, and you turn that direction because you hear it close, and you see a bunch of humans, like kind of arm in arm, like kind of holding each other. There's lots of they've clearly been through hell, and they kind of are all huddled together, and they come back in, and they're walking toward you. And then, what did you say?
I asked, where am I going? Where is this going?
You and your fellow Eladrin are being relocated to one of our new habitats.
Habitats?
Yes. State-of-the-art constructs designed to protect you from the cryptex.
What are you talking about?
Please, enter the stasis pod. And this little like cover on this clear like egg-shaped pod opens up. Please enter the stasis pod.
What do you mean, the stasis pod?
The stasis pod will maintain all your biological functions during our journey. Please enter the stasis pod. And then the humans get even closer, but they don't really look like a threat, but they are getting really close to you.
She's going to immediately turn to them and go, why are you on here? What's going on?
The humans are also being relocated. Please enter your stasis pods.
Are they going to do anything to me while I'm in it?
You will be perfectly protected while in your stasis pod. Please enter your stasis pod.
She kind of looks at them and goes, don't they need to be in stasis pods too then?
They will be. The human stasis pods are on the other side of the ship. Of the vessel. That's the word I was looking for.
Why are they approaching me?
There is only one corridor. And then they kind of walk by you and pay you no mind as they pass you and then head to a different part of the ship.
Who are you? Where are you?
I am the shipboard AI construct. I am here to answer your questions. Please enter your stasis pod.
Okay. Does not answer any questions. At this point, I think she is just too exhausted to argue with this thing.
Okay.
And she gets into the stasis pod.
Okay. Thank you for entering your stasis pod. Sealing the chamber now, and then it closes over the top of you. And the whole chamber starts to fill up with some kind of fog. And then you hear the computer voice, but more localized, like it's inside your pod now. And she just says, "We are ready to depart for Habitat 1. Please stay in your stasis pod upon awakening," and then you start to feel yourself fade off into unconsciousness. All right, and then you wake back up, and you are now in that chamber, and you look up, and Piritesh takes her hand off your head, and she just says, "Well done. Thank you, Violet. I mean, you're welcome, Violet."
She just kind of looks at her and goes, "What?" And she just kind of looks down at where her hand was missing and is just sort of having a moment. You really recover from that very easily.
Yeah, so suddenly the pain is all gone and everything, you're back to normal, and Piritesh is just like looking at you with this big grin.
Violet's kind of going to look around and look at everyone else and see how everyone else is doing.
And she says, "See, you are all unharmed," and then everyone else starts to wake up. And that's where we'll leave it.
Okay.
Hopefully it wasn't too on rails, kind of the nature of this thing, but...
That's fair.
You did have to... your choices do matter, though, by the way. You'll see why.
I imagine it's a lot like Assassin's Creed, where it's like...
Yes. That's exactly the vibe I was going for, was Assassin's Creed.
What a wild ride.
Well, I hope you had fun.
Bastards.
But yeah, I've made sure that everyone has like some key things that they can affect and stuff, even though, you know, it's a memory. So ultimately, at least a set of outcomes has to happen. One of a set of outcomes. But overall, you had more freedom than maybe you realized.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm gonna prepare for PJs, but yeah, I think we're gonna do a session next Saturday, and then also we'll pick it up on Wednesday. Again, try to remind Jay to make sure he has FGU installed, so we don't have to wait for that.
Yeah.
And then feel free to uninstall the old one because I'm not using it anymore.
Yeah. I'll make sure.
Sounds good.
Oh, that was wild.
I thought it would be fun. Reveal a little bit of history for you guys.
can't wait for the next session. I know it'll be like a week away, but like,
I know, I can't wait for everyone to start comparing all their stories. It'll be fun.
Alright.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. See ya.